All right, hello YouTube. Thank you for coming to my channel, amador.create. I'm Oscar and I am an aspiring filmmaker. Now this video is part of the Mastering Filmmaking series where every week I choose a topic related to filmmaking and I study it and put it into practice so that at the end of the week I can draw conclusions from it, learn a little bit more about the topic, and hopefully become a better filmmaker. This week I chose color correction because I realized that after editing my videos and exporting them to a different, for example, a laptop or my phone, the colors would come out really dull and the skin tones were just really unnatural. And so without further ado, here is the before and after video.
I can only imagine how it is to be with you. From the first day I saw your face, I knew this love was true. But you already taken, nothing I can do. So I can only imagine how it is to be with you. I can only imagine us both loving through the night. I can only imagine us together side by side. I can only imagine we're dancing in the moonlight. I can only imagine, I can only imagine. I want to know if you will be my favorite song, my little melody. If we could be a symphony, then we would be a perfect harmony. I don't want to live this way. I really wish we never knew. Out of sight and out of mind, I don't want to be with you. But the next time I saw your face, nothing I can do. I just have to face the truth. All I want is to be with you. I can only imagine us both loving through the night. I can only imagine us together side by side. I can only imagine we're dancing in the moonlight. I can only imagine, I can only imagine. I want to know if you will be my favorite song, my little melody. If we could be a symphony, then we would be a perfect harmony.
Alright, so before we begin analyzing these videos, I just want to mention that I had to learn a little bit about how to properly expose, how to get proper white balance, and how to use S-Log2 footage so that at the time of editing in Premiere, things would just be a little bit easier for me. The process for color correcting and color grading the first video would be to first add a LUT in S-Log2 to a Rec. 709 Sony LUT. From there, I would mess around with the basic correction and put an S-Log, put an S-curve over the video until I kind of got the look that I wanted. The only problem with this is that I would do it based on what I saw and what was aesthetic to me based on what I saw on the screen. And the problem with that is that my monitor is actually an LG TV, which usually tends to oversaturate the colors and isn't a very accurate representation of natural colors. And so after an entire week of watching YouTubers, filmmakers on YouTube, I came across a problem, which was pretty much that everybody had a different work method and used different tools on Premiere in order to accomplish the same thing. So it was a little bit of trial error before I found the method that best worked for me. And so what I did with the final video was to first mess around with the basic correction, tinker with it until I thought it was looking good. Then I would bump up the saturation, and finally I would mess around with the curves if I wanted certain colors oversaturated or less saturated. And finally I would focus on skin tone, which I would try to isolate from the entire shot. Now, while I was doing this, I would pay attention to my lumetri scopes at all moments in order to make sure that all the colors were correct, that my blacks weren't too clipped, my whites weren't too overexposed. And at the end of this entire week, I realized that there's still a lot of discrepancies between some of the shots, because some of the shots were just really, really warm, and other shots were just really, really cold. So the color palettes and the color temperature was still off. But overall, I think I'm starting to understand a little bit more about how to properly expose and how to get the proper color on skin tones, which was honestly my biggest concern. And the only problem is that sometimes the shots, the background in some of my shots was the exact same color as the skin tone of my subjects, which complicated things, which would make me have to put a mask on to my subject and just her skin as to not affect the entire composition of that shot, which was really tedious. And I do want to learn techniques to have to avoid all those very, very tedious steps. Anyways, if you have any comments, any pointers, anything, please leave your comments below. And please don't forget to hit that subscribe button. There are a lot of mosquitoes here and I need to leave because they are biting me. Anyways, peace.